The lights dimmed in the arena, and you could feel 30,000 hearts stop beating at once. This wasn't just another martial arts exhibition. This was the moment we'd all been waiting for. Lateef Crowder versus Donnie Yen, two legends who'd spent decades perfecting their craft, finally standing across from each other on the same mat. I was there that night, pressed against the barrier with my notebook, watching history prepare to unfold. The energy in that building felt electric, dangerous even. These weren't actors playing fighters. These were the real deal. Men who'd spent their entire lives transforming their bodies into weapons, now ready to answer the question that had been burning through martial arts forums and training gyms worldwide. Whose style truly reigned supreme? Lateef Crowder entered first, and the Brazilian contingent in the crowd erupted. At 6 feet tall, with the build of a panther, Crowder moved like water finding its path downhill. Fluid, unstoppable, mesmerizing. This man had brought Capoeira into the mainstream through films like Undisputed 3 and The Protector. But make no mistake, his credentials ran deeper than Hollywood. He was a direct disciple of Mestre Amen Santo, trained in the brutal streets of Salvador, where Capoeira wasn't a dance, it was survival. His acrobatic kicks could snap a man's jaw from angles you didn't know existed. Watch him move and you'd see something almost supernatural. Spins that defy physics, sweeps that came from nowhere, handstands that somehow transformed into devastating head kicks. But here's what separated Crowder from every other capoeirista on the planet: his fight IQ. He could read an opponent's rhythm, break it, then punish them in the silence between beats. His weakness? Traditional grapplers sometimes frustrated his flow. Get him on the ground, take away that movement, and you had a chance. Just a chance. Then, Donnie Yen walked out, and the arena's atmosphere shifted entirely. Shorter at 5'8", more compact, Yen carried himself with the quiet confidence of someone who'd literally fought in hundreds of real combat situations before cameras ever found him. This wasn't some movie star playing martial artist. Yen held an 8th degree black belt in Taekwondo, was a master of Wing Chun under Ip Man's lineage, had trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and possessed boxing skills that would make professional pugilists nervous. At 59 years old, yes, 59, he looked like he'd been carved from granite. His signature style blended Wing Chun's devastating close-range efficiency with Muay Thai's brutal power and the submission arsenal of BJJ. Watching Yen work was like watching a chess grandmaster who could also bench press a truck. Every movement had purpose, zero wasted energy. His chain punches came so fast they sounded like machine gun fire. His leg kicks could chop down trees. But age was the question mark hanging over this fight. Could experience and technique overcome youth and athleticism? The bell rang. Crowder immediately started circling, bouncing on his hands as much as his feet, establishing that unpredictable capoeira rhythm. Yen stayed centered, hands high and a tight Wing Chun guard, those famous eyes tracking every micro movement. The first exchange happened fast. Crowder launched into a meia lua de composto, that signature spinning kick that had knocked out champions. Yen slipped it by millimeters, countered with a straight blast to Crowder's midsection that sounded like a baseball bat hitting leather. The Brazilian backslipped away, reset. Already we could see the contrast, flowing chaos versus calculated precision. Round 2 brought the first real damage. Crowder feinted a low sweep, then exploded upward with an inverted kick that caught Yen on the temple. The crowd gasped. Yen stumbled but didn't fall. His counter came immediately. He closed distance like a predator, trapped Crowder against the cage with a clinch, and started unloading knees to the body. Thud, thud, thud. Each one sounded worse than the last. Crowder spun free using a technique I'd never seen before, some hybrid escape that left both men breathing hard and the audience on their feet. The middle rounds became a study in adjustment. Crowder realized he couldn't play his usual game. Yen's ring craft was too sophisticated, cutting off angles, forcing exchanges in phone booths where that Wing Chun became lethal. But every time Yen thought he had the range figured out, Crowder would pull something impossible from his arsenal. A scorpion kick from nowhere, a sweep while inverted, movement that shouldn't exist outside video games. Yen's face showed something I'd never seen there before: uncertainty. His corner was screaming adjustments, but how do you adjust to someone who rewrites physics? Then came the 7th round, and everything changed. Crowder went for another spinning attack, his bread and butter, but this time Yen had seen it enough. He didn't retreat. Instead, he stepped into the spin, jammed it with perfect timing, and as Crowder came around disoriented, Yen unleashed what the Wing Chun practitioners call a 1-inch punch directly to the solar plexus. Crowder's body folded. He didn't go down. The man's will wouldn't allow it, but the air left his lungs and his rhythm shattered. Yen smelled blood. He pressed forward with combinations we'd only seen in his movies, except this was real. Each punch landing with scientific precision. Chain punches to the head, low kicks destroying Crowder's base. The Brazilian was in survival mode now, covering up, trying to circle away, but the cage was shrinking. The final 2 rounds played out like a technical masterclass from Yen. He'd broken the code. Every time Crowder tried to establish his flow, Yen disrupted it with clinches, leg kicks, pressure that gave the capoeirista no room to operate. Crowder landed spectacular techniques, a spinning back kick in round 8 that would win highlight reel of the year. But they were islands in an ocean of Yen's dominance. The older man's cardio never faded, his technique never sloppy. He turned this into his fight. Round 9 saw Crowder dig deep into his soul, searching for that Brazilian warrior spirit that had carried him through countless battles. He attempted one last spectacular sequence, a cartwheel into a double kick combination that had the crowd roaring, but Yen's defense was impenetrable now. The Hong Kong legend countered with a devastating leg kick that echoed through the arena, followed by a combination so clean, so perfectly executed, that even Crowder's corner had to acknowledge the mastery they were witnessing. This wasn't just winning anymore. This was a lesson being taught in real time. When the final bell rang, everyone in that arena knew. Donnie Yen won by unanimous decision, and he won because he did what great fighters do. He solved an unsolvable puzzle. He took away Crowder's greatest weapon, space and time to create, and forced the fight into ranges where experience trumped athleticism. Those decades of real fighting, that brutal efficiency of Wing Chun, the systematic pressure that Yen had perfected through thousands of hours on real streets and in real dojos, it all came together against one of the most dynamic fighters on earth. But here's what I remember most. After the decision, Yen bowed deeply to Crowder and pulled him into an embrace that lasted 15 seconds. 2 masters, 2 completely different philosophies, 1 unforgettable night. That's when I realized I hadn't just watched a fight. I'd watched art colliding with science. And somehow, impossibly, everyone won.